అణు అణువున నాదం నా పంచ ప్రాణాల నాట్య వినోదం నాలో రేగే నిన్నో హంసానందే రాగా.
क्या करते हैं इमाम?
अजान देते हैं, मस्जिद का ख्याल रखते हैं, नेकी करते हैं, सबको नेकी सिखाते हैं, सबकी खैर मांगते हैं।
सहर खान बताएंगी बड़े होकर क्या बनेंगी। सहर खान कहाँ है आप?
मैं बड़ी होकर अपने अब्बू की तरह इमाम बनूंगी।
कल फजर की अजान से ईशा की अजान तक आपको कोई एक इंसान लेकर आना है जो बोल दे कि इमाम साहब बना दीजिए आप सहर को इमाम।
कह दो ना मेरे अब्बू से कि शहर को बना दो इमाम। पंडित जी कह दीजिए मेरे अब्बू से।
लड़कियां कोई इमाम नहीं बनती हैं।
इमाम बनना है इन्हें। ओह ये लड़कियों को आजकल क्या ही बोले इनका।
अगर ऐसा झंडा बन सकती है तो शहर इमाम क्यों नहीं बन सकती?
इस आयत के जरिए अल्लाह सुब्हान तआला हमसे कह रहे हैं कि पूरी कायनात एक है, ना कोई कम ना कोई तुमसे ज्यादा।
बना दीजिए मेरी सहर को इमाम। बनाएंगे।
रफिया तुम जानती हो ये मुमकिन नहीं है।
अब्बू खोलो।
कहीं से तो शुरुआत कर सकते हैं।
Good evening and welcome to Indica Pictures, Saba Mumtaz Khanji. It's such a privilege to have you on this session. And
Thank you so much.
and without
Hello.
much ado, I would like to start with a very fundamental doubt I had. How come a convent-educated urban scriptwriter and filmmaker, how did you make this film with such honesty, where you're talking about children in a village going to madrasas? How did you manage to capture the integrity of their experience?
Okay, so I would like to tell you that I may have grown up in a city, educated in a city, but I was born in a village. So that whole film is shot in my native village. So every house, every mosque, every madrasa you see in the film is actually our own thing, like family things. And so since childhood, summer holidays were spent in the village. So I'm very much like in tune with the village life, what happens in the village, or the way people there think and live, and what are the cultural and social atmosphere out there. So that's how this film, there was this, on one Eid, we were in the village and I saw that so everybody goes for namaz, Eid ki namaz. So all the kids and all the boys, they were just running into the mosque freely, and all the girls were all standing outside peeping into the mosque. So that image just stuck in my head, and I know that women are not allowed in mosques. Women don't pray in mosques. Some places they are allowed, but separate sections. So that was always in my mind, ki why is this so? And I had heard that during the time of the Prophet, a mosque was like a meeting ground. Men, women, everybody used to be sitting in the mosque and discussing affairs and all. And slowly, slowly, the women were thrown out of the mosque, and they were like, "Ghar mein raho, ghar mein namaz padho." So that thing really bothered me, and I wanted to say this story. So I had actually written a feature film, and that script was I had pitched it to Amir Khan Productions, but it never got made, and it had a older girl as the protagonist. So then somebody told me, then I pitched it to other producers, though they said ki right now the atmosphere is such, everybody is getting agitated about a religious thing, ye film banegi nahi. But I was so determined. I said, मुझे यही बात किसी तरह से कहनी है. So I thought of Iranian films where they use children where there's a lot of censorship in Iran, and they use children and simple situations to say big things. So I thought of using a child who says the same thing, but nobody will mind a child saying, "Yeah, I want to be an imam." So that's how it kind of evolved.
Wonderful. Actually, I don't know how people would have received this film for the K. Vishwanath Memorial Competition, but in my view, three things that are very fundamental to him are addressed in the film. One is capturing the nativity atmosphere, the native atmosphere. Two is liberation of women and their emancipation, and three is absolutely honesty about the theme, where we do not worry about consequences, social consequences of our theme. So you have, in total dedication to these three principles is your film. So, and there's a total match with his principles. So,
Ideology.
yeah, if you take this idea of women and their liberation, it's across all religions, it's across
Yeah,
all
yeah,
communities, it's all over the world.
yeah.
So why is it that certain communities get identified with it more than others?
Get identified with this?
With women being, not encouraged, or women being repressed, or their communities being
Yeah, please,
rejective.
exactly. So this is a stereotype about Muslims, and कि Muslims में औरतों को but across the world, it's a universal thing that women are subdued, women are asked not to be themselves or not to be in leadership positions. Huh? So that is exactly what I wanted to target. Like, why are there no women pope? Why is there no women Mahasant or something? Why is there no women Imam? So my film is actually very universal in its theme. It's not just, but it's just that milieu which I picked up because first of all, I feel one should make at least the first film about a world you know about, and so that was like the safest thing for me because I knew how people talk, what they say, what they wear, what they eat, and I wanted to make it very real. So that's why I chose a Muslim background. Otherwise, it could have been a Hindu background, a Christian background. Everywhere, women's position is the same.
I came across a new word today when I was reading about K. Vishwanath ji in English, which is auteur, auteur, which says it's a person, a director who dominates the film so much that he also is the author or the screenwriter.
Oh,
So
wow.
in your case, would you say that it's the same, that as a screenwriter, maybe the reverse, your sentiments, your ideas, your perception of society is so much a part of the film that it takes over everything else?
I think so, yes. Because that little girl is actually me. Because the questions she was asking and whatever, and in a very sweet, light zone, she's asking. So that is very much what I was as a child. And I see myself in that character. And so I've written it like that. And I didn't want to offend anybody, I mean, it's not about offending people or asking pointed questions and saying, "ऐसा तुमने क्यों करा? ऐसा क्यों नहीं होता औरतों के साथ?" It's a very innocent way a child is asking certain questions, and the elders don't know how to give the right answers because they don't have the right answers.
And in every part of the film, the child navigates whatever she comes across with such simplicity and such beauty. Even when the elderly grandfather is very very cross with her, she still pumps water for him with such a sweet smile on her face. So how did you capture that innocence, and how do it's just a short just strikes us as something so beautiful that we're not thinking of script writing, we're not talking about dialogues, we're not talking about technicality of filmmaking, we're just talking about human emotions and human life.
So that I would give a lot of credit to my actor also, that little child, She was actually, I was looking, when I was casting, I was looking for kids. So I went on Instagram and there are a lot of kids, koi dance kar raha hai, koi emote kar raha hai. But they all look very grown up, you know, and they had kind of lost their innocence somewhere. But this kid, I don't know, the moment I saw her, I was like, she has that innocence intact, you know. And and actually she was in Delhi, I was in Bombay, we had never met, not even a single time we met. We met on the shoot only. So I was like, this is my girl. It was just a core feeling that she will be right. But I was a little jittery also because the whole film rests on that 6-year-old kid. I was like, and we had like limited budgets. We had to finish the shoot in 8 days and all. I was like, if she throws a tantrum or if she's unable to perform, then I've had it. So I would just make her sit on my lap, you know, make her very comfortable and tell her everything. And already her parents had taken her through the story once because I told them, आप उसको सुनाइएगा कहानी, मैं नहीं सुनाऊंगी, because I'm a stranger and I come and start telling her things. So they told her, and they were also very cooperative. You know, she's a kid. Sometimes she would throw a little tantrum, so they would kind of pacify her. But kudos to that child. Her innocence, her acting prowess is so brilliant that it became easy for me to get that innocence out of her. Because वो Instagram पे कुछ dance करती है acting, तो वो बहुत कभी filmy style में बोलती थी.
I just saw that too. I was wondering, is this the same child who is in the film?
Yeah. So I had to really navigate her to just be herself and just talk. जैसे कोई तुम्हारे दादा है, नल चला रही हो तुम, बातें कर रही हो, तो उसका वो बहुत अच्छा natural निकल के आ रहा था, touch wood.
Like even when she's, you know, in that school, when they have to ask what they will become, what they want to become, when they grow big.
But
It's not like, you know, Pat, she doesn't just as if it's premeditated. She thinks for a while and then comes the answer. And it's like, you know, it's so natural. Yeah.
she thinks and she has to, then she sees her father, जिसको first frame से she's been like shown sitting outside the mosque. So she must be sitting there and seeing her father every single day. And like how all kids idolize their parents and they say, I want to become like my dad. So
wonderful thing is that the male figure there from the first frame you mentioned, her father is not the typical father who wants to. It's not he who disciplines her. It's not he who wants to, you know, teach her life lessons. So even he's been like cast in a very natural, balanced way, not an extreme portrayal of an imam. So
no. But imams तो हमारे दिमाग में है कि वो ऐसा होते हैं imam. But imam are normal people. It's just their job to go and give the azan and lead the prayer. Otherwise, they are men with families. They are funny. Some are strict, some are sweet. So I was like, he has to just be a father to this kid. You know? So that was the whole thought process behind it.
Sabji, you made the film before you were aware of this contest. So it would, you know, I wouldn't want to ask you how, you know, K. Viswanath ji inspired your film, but I would like to know who are your inspirations in filmmaking? Who are the people whose films you would say, you know, inspire you to make films like the Imam?
So, like I said, I'm very inspired by Iranian filmmakers, Masjid, Abbas Kiarostami. They make very simple films and they are very nuanced, and it's about you know, common people, their problems, their love, their separation. So I'm highly influenced by Iranian filmmakers.
And you had mentioned in one interview that Vishwanath Garu, you know, he blends commercial and
Yeah.
films. So is this where we are heading in terms of quality filmmaking? Are we, you know, we're all a little tired by Bollywood. So is this the new way forward where, you know, we have these two ways of filmmaking coming together?
Yeah. So when I googled K. Vishwanath Garu and then I saw all his films, you know, there was this film about a mental health problem. Anil Kapoor plays that. What was that film? Then there was another, Sargam was there about this girl who can't speak and she wants to dance. So all his films have some kind of characters who are lacking in something and how they overcome that and achieve something. And it all the films had lovely music, lovely. So what struck me was how he has been able to have commercial aspects in his films along with some message. So a very good amalgamation of commercial and art, I would say, in his films, and very successfully all his films were hit. So that was like really compelling for me, and I was like, I have to watch all these films again. And I asked wahan pe, his family, they loved my film. They all came to me and they said, "Oh, we love your film, and this is just the kind of film our dad, his son, his daughter, son-in-law, all were there, and they really loved the film." And they said कि ऐसी film हमारे मतलब he would have loved, and we really like your film. So I said, yeah, this is the kind of cinema I want to make, where I don't want to make a very arty film. I want, like, even in this film, छोटी सी film है, but people will laugh also, they will smile also. So I want that I would want to entertain people along with giving a message.
Yeah.
So that, and I think that's the way forward. Like
Absolutely.
films like Abhi 12th Fail became a big hit. So it was everybody enjoyed the film, as well as it's a big message also, how courage and hard work can take you places.
Yeah.
Can you give me just 1 minute? I want to switch on the fan. Can I do
Sure.
that?
Yeah.
Way forward.
Yeah, he also mentions in one of his interviews, Viswanath Garu, that the message is not something that you don't declare before the film is released that this is the message. This is not some kind of proselytizing that we are doing. Actually, in your film, the message is told in such a manner that we're not burdened with change. We don't expect her to become the Imam or be guaranteed that at the end of the film. See,
Yeah.
that was the otherwise the pressure on the film to make sure that she gets what she wants. That's what modern filmmaking would want, that the girl gets totally liberated and society changes, religion accepts and accommodates. But in its own way, there was some kind of everyone goes with a settled feeling that there has been change in maybe in a different direction. So it's really wonderful how you've handled the theme, and like you said, the entire cast, the father, the mother, the other children, it's light-hearted but with a serious knock. There was, I think, one dialogue in which they ask, wo is she manushya? So she says, no, manushya nahi hai, aurat hai. Something to that.
हाँ, वो एक बच्ची कहती है कि तुम क्या इंसान हो, क्योंकि उसके फादर ने कहा था एक इंसान लेकर आओ जो कह दे सर, तो वो कहती है मैं कह दूं, तो शी सेज तुम क्या इंसान हो, सो द अदर गर्ल से ये तो लड़की है, दे ऑल लाफ.
Yeah, it's like it's such a strong truth being told in such a light-hearted way. Yeah, really amazing. So what's your next? Oh, sure, sweet.
Hello.
Hi.
Next, I'm writing my next. It's a feature film now. That is also again in the same vein. It's light and it has its comic moments, but it has a very big message.
Thank you so much for making this film, Sabhaji, because I'm sure it requires a lot of courage to, from both your own community and from others, to make a film which is so honest and which needs a message that needs to be told. And
it can start a conversation. कभी इस बारे में सोचा ही नहीं कि leadership position में in religion औरतें क्यों नहीं है, क्यों कोई women imam नहीं है, क्यों कोई women pope नहीं है, पंडित नहीं है. So it can start a conversation.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the lovely interview. Wishing you all the best in the
Thank you so much.
Namaste.